Performers Pod. I am your host, Chelsea Poe. Thank you guys all for listening the last few weeks. We've had a few hundred listeners for the first 3 episodes, so I'm very excited about that. So basically, if you haven't listened to this before, it's a space for porn performers to talk about our industry in a way that we're usually not given in mainstream press. I want to cover both the mundane things about porn, the boring things, and the fun things, as well as covering real issues like transphobia, racism, homophobia, fat phobia, and kind of all the other isms that go on in any part of the entertainment industry. Today I'm talking to Lita Lecherous. We're both in the East Bay Brats together. We've worked together many times, and I'm so excited I've gotten a chance to talk to them for this podcast. So news after the first 3 were released. The podcast Stripe account got banned because of sex work. So if you do want to support the pod, please go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/ChelseaPoe. You can support me there because Stripe doesn't seem like an option at this point. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy our interview. I talked to Lita about how we started making smut together, being a rising star in porn during a global pandemic, and all of their success in the last 2 years. Enjoy. One of my favorite performers. I've worked with them a really long time, Lita Lecherous. I think you're so cool because you're like, I feel like you do everything so DIY, and I appreciate that so much. And I feel like I've never been around someone who's like on like the total come up, and like you're like about to like huge things. And that's how I felt with you right before the pandemic at AVN. I feel like you were like everywhere. You were making so many connections, shooting so much stuff. And like, I genuinely can't wait to see what you do once we all get back to porn in the next few months. And I really want to talk to you about that and just like kind of everything else. Welcome to my show.
Thank you. I'm blushing, which you can see. That's so crazy because I look up to you, and I remember before we shot together, finding your content and your page and being like, this person is so cool. I want to be friends with her. Oh my God, she's like, oh my God, she'll never work with me. And then I just like hit you up, and you and Courtney Trouble are so like, it's so crazy. Like I did Crash Pad or whatever, but you guys were like the first people that I ever really shot like porn, like went and shot porn with. I didn't know who you were, and it was DIY. And I think that I know now that it is different. I'm learning. I just did my first studio shoot, and it was very different. So we can talk about that. But
so when we like first met up, like, are you from the Bay originally, or like have you moved here pretty recently before we linked up?
No, I had lived there for I think I moved there in 2013, 2012, like, and I grew up in like the California foothills, like in the boonies outside of Sacramento, an hour away from everything. Yeah, and I moved to Oakland with my rock and roll boyfriend in his van when that's true story. And I lived on a couch, and I got my own place, and I just like stayed for 7 years. And then I eventually got into the kink community. So I lived there for 7 years before I left. I miss it. I think you met me a year and about 2 years before I moved. So 5, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I miss it. It feels like my home, honestly.
It's honestly so strange here after the pandemic. Being in the city now, it's so empty. It feels like it's like at 30% capacity. It's just such a weird feeling now.
Every
But
so weird and different. I was sheltered in my hometown at the start, from the start to around summer, and everything after is just so different and weird. And yeah, I don't know, but I'm excited to come back. It's my home. Yeah, it's where I started. And it's funny because I feel like a lot of the kinky performers are in the Bay Area, and a lot of the other performers are in LA, and then Vegas is like a mix, because Vegas in
mhm,
general is just like DIY independent kind of stuff.
yeah, a lot of
Mo
content trade.
Yeah, there's a lot of content trade. Um, but the Bay Area is so like, there's a lot of performers, but there's not a lot of content. Like, there's not a lot as much content trade, and like people. I know a lot of people because I talk to so many people, but I know so many people that have lived in the Bay Area. Like, it's wild to me, for example, that like you've never worked with Elise Scrapes. You guys live so fucking close
Yeah,
together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
yeah,
weird that. So it's like, and Elise would fucking love, like, I gotta
yeah,
introduce you to Elise for
yeah.
sure.
We're in contact already. Yeah, they're
Oh,
definitely
good.
someone who I want to work with post pandemic. Their stuff seems
Oh,
so cool.
good. Yeah, no, no,
Yeah,
no. But that's what I'm saying is like, there's people in the Bay Area, like there is Arbel Raphael and like Elise, and there's a lot of the bondage and kinky people, but it's so hard to like find them or really get, it's just not the same. And then out here it's like everybody finds you, and like everybody wants to trade and content, and it's such a different vibe. And I did just start opening up for that because I am half vaccinated, and I live by myself. So it's like, for example, I posted today that like, oh, I'm open for select shooting, and fucking somebody hit me up and was like, can you shoot today? And I'm like, okay,
oh my
no.
god. The Vegas hustle with porn is like,
he like he like sent me his OnlyFans thing. He's like, I got 741 subscribers. He's like, and he's like, yeah, let's shoot, let's do it today or tomorrow. And I was like, okay, I appreciate so much your enthusiasm. Let's because that's how I am. And it's
yeah,
like, oh my god, and it's wild. It's so different, but I know that I don't want to go mainstream, and I want to remain independent, and I want to keep doing DIY independent trade content. And I'm cool with studio stuff. I think it's fun, but it's just different. It's a whole new world out here.
definitely. I also feel like with the Bay, like so much stuff has changed so much with porn in the Bay. Like with the Armory closing down, like all the amount of porn stars in one building on any given day was literally wild. I camped for them in the building, and it was, you would see like legitimate huge porn stars showering next to you when you're done with a cam session. It's like the weirdest thing. And you just like really have all these people in one building. And now that that's gone, for better or worse, like there's just not that. Also, I feel like porn here was so built on you work for a studio and you get paid and then you go home. And like that's all it was.
I heard that, and it's so funny because I'm so involved in the kink scene that I know so many people that work. I know someone that worked behind the scenes. You might even have, his name is Wes, but he worked for kink, and he said the same thing. He was like, even for the people that build the sets and do the camera work and all that shit, it's very much the mentality of like, if you're not contracted and like going and doing your work with that studio, like that, you know, it's you're not, you know, there's no like, there's not a lot of like freelance where you're like doing job to job, like you're working for kink.com or you're working for Mythbusters or you're working in like, if you're not working there, then like you're not,
Yeah, I mean,
there's not a lot of entertainment, like that kind of entertainment in the Bay Area.
yeah, I also feel like even just the queer porn companies, it was so much about really for Trouble Films until probably 2018, there were so many people who just wanted a one-time shoot like Crash Pad series, where we didn't really have this like full collective vibe because there were so many people who just wanted to do a queer porn scene because it was almost a cool thing for a minute. Like it was almost a trendy thing. So when I met you and also Ruby, I think both of you were like coming from a place where you weren't like, I want to do porn to be famous, to be queer famous or anything
Yeah.
like that. And that's immediately what, when I met, I was like, oh, we both live in Oakland. We just want to make like kinky stuff. I'm like, these people are awesome. And that's like immediately what I got when we hung out the first time at Lake Merritt before we shot.
It's very like, I'm gonna plug my phone in while we're talking. It's very like,
Of course.
like fame and what, like that stuff's cool, but I don't know, that's not, Ruby is great. Like I just want to say that Ruby Riots was amazing, and
Yeah.
it's so wild because Ruby doesn't like, Ruby's goal and my goal, like, you know, when you met me, like my goal wasn't, you're right, my goal wasn't to be a porn star. My goal was to like, yeah, make porn and branch out, but my main goal was to build my client, you know, that like,
Yeah.
and then I ended up really liking it and going a different direction with it and being like, wow, this is fun. I think that's me. I think it's fun and I love it. And I wasn't making money at first. I was banking content and just shooting. And then Ruby is like more photography and like more like wanted to be like a alt model photographer,
Mhm.
you know, that like that kind of like porn girl, like alt porn girl. And it's just like interesting seeing like just, and I hear so many stories about that where it's like, now I'm camming. I never fucking wanted to cam. I literally would be like, Chelsea's a trooper. I can't fucking cam. So much work. And it is a lot of work.
It is.
But now
It's very hard.
that's weird. I'm camming. I own a porn site now. I am talking, I'm networking with a lot of exciting people. And that's, yeah, before everything got crazy, it was so weird because I felt like I really felt like I was, I guess, quote unquote, about to blow up.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and I don't say that lightly because I'm not like super cocky. I mean, I have an ego, whatever. And I know I'm hot shit, but
You should
no, but
though.
there was a part of me that was like, wow, if I want to do this, it's available to me. And I think that everything, I never let that go. Like I was like, it's not going to be any less available to me. And there were times where I was like, oh, I was going to blow up and now I'm not. And it's like, but it doesn't matter because I've also realized like, I hate the fucking pandemic, but I know so much. Like I own a site now. I'm incorporated now. All this stuff that I didn't have before it because I just didn't have the time or didn't. It kind of froze everything and forced me to be like, what am I gonna do? And showed me that like I could get my bag and I could get my business together and I can have the things I want to have long term and it doesn't have to look. It's just gonna look a little different, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's important in our line of in sex work and just a lot of freelance work, but like to be open to the things that you want and the things that you know and how to get them and being open to like changes and things not really, you know, I don't know, that's just my take on that. But
Yeah, I
because I
think it's, I mean, we've never had anything like this in our lives before, that everything came to a stop. Like, it's not like with baseball, how there's an off season. There's not an off season in porn or just returning to our lives. Like, we're going to have so many things that are going to be a first time again. And it's just going to be so different. Okay, we're going now.
Okay. It's weird because I moved during the pandemic and I had only been to Vegas one time
Wait,
before.
really? Your first time was the AVN we went to?
You know that I was working back to back. I was
You
doing
were
back
so
to
busy. You were so busy.
didn't even go and do anything. The last night I was there, I hung out with Sucklord and we went and walked around the New York hotel and hung out. I fucking flew home in the morning. And like that was my like one thing I did with my friend. And like other than that, I was working and I had a great time. But yeah, it's freaking weird because I'm never gonna there's so many things like I've never been to Vegas, you know, like I'm never gonna get to. It's not the same. It's fucking weird. And a lot of things are like that. So porn is like that too. Things are changing, everything changes. But I think that it's a good opportunity to, like I said, just kind of roll with it and be open to this is how we're doing porn now. Everybody has to be super vigilant.
Yeah, it's gonna be different. I don't know. I feel really hopeful about it coming back. Like, I feel in a way, right before the pandemic, I almost felt like making films was becoming too easy. Where I had the moment of like, whoa, this one didn't feel like I had to like put so much stuff into it. And now I'm just like totally like feel like it's a fresh thing. Like to have this like pause and then just to be able to essentially come back to everything anew, it gives me a lot of hope. I really think that studios are gonna lose power and that like the performers are gonna do a lot more. And that's what I'm really excited about because I want the performers to really run all this stuff and not have it be about whoever the CEO of this company is or
And
whoever
that
the casting agent is.
and that is literally what I just told my therapist last week. Is like, I don't want to be mainstream. I want to be independent and I don't want an agent and I don't need an agent.
Yep.
And I like I'm doing just fine. And I think that for me, it's more important. Like paid shoots are great, and I will totally take paid if anybody listening is like, I want to pay her. But I'll do trade if I like the content and if I think I can sell it. And I will do things that secure me footage or contacts or experiences that I want or need that are valuable to me in the long term, maybe for a little less money because they're valuable to me. And like there's something to be said about like, yeah, I don't roll out of bed for like less than $800 or whatever. And like that's totally cool. But I think that the different path that I'm on. And for me, I'm like, I want to take a little time. Like, I don't want to fucking shoot every day. I don't want to go to a shoot, like drop everything and go to a shoot. I want to like take my time and I want to own my content. And like, I'm totally cool I'm saying like, I can have the things I want. I can do a studio shoot here or there if that's what I want. And I really like the studio and I'm really vibing with what they do.
Yeah.
And I like, it's exciting for me to do it. And then like, but I'm finding that I can have all those things on my own through trade. Like I'm talking to I'm talking to Shane Diesel about working with him and trading with him. And like, he's fucking amazing. I'm a fan. I love him. Like
Shout out Shane Diesel.
He's
Shout out Shane Diesel.
He's an older porn guy. Anybody that watches, I'm a femdom, so anybody that watches cuckold porn knows who he is.
I think I met him at something before. I don't know. So many porn names start to blend together for me at some point.
Or like, I don't know. There's people that I would like, people that you meet. I don't know. You just, if you stick around and you're professional, and I think for me, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm going to. Your content looks professional and it's fucking creative and nice, which I think mine is,
Yeah.
will see that and they're just like, wow, I want to work with you. And so like, you're right, you don't need, like, it's just like, I don't need a studio to book me with freaking so and so. Maybe some people, but like,
Yeah, that's something like I kind of want to explore on this podcast because I'm really trying to interview people from around the world who are doing porn, and like every city is so different, like how porn is made. Like Vegas is just like everyone wants to content trade with anyone. You're a porn star there, that's content trade.
it literally, they literally, yeah, it's literally like, let's shoot, let's shoot, let's shoot, let's shoot.
Yeah.
And everybody, and like not everybody's going to shoot together, but everybody like has their thing. So it's like, you, for me, I don't even know, I'm just a performer. I like to do a lot of different content. I do focus on kinky stuff. I would like to do, and queer stuff. I would like to do more more hardcore and boy girl, because that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy. And I think that Vegas and like content trading is a good way to get a lot of different content for like somebody like Sin Sage is a good example of what I would like my people to view me as, like fluid. She's
Yeah.
very,
She's literally done everything. Like
I love
you,
her. So great. She's very fluid.
I mean, it's really amazing. Like her early stuff was like her shooting with Sasha Grey, where Sasha Grey was like the dom. Like that, they're part of like the Troublesomes collective, and like someone who we're actively collaborating with. It often makes you be like, oh my god, we're working with a celebrity. But it's like so amazing because they went from the whole studio model where that's where they were doing most of their gigs to now having so much content and releasing multiple films a year. I think it's just so cool how they had a career renaissance. Basically just being like, oh, I can do content trade and make some really, really amazing films.
It's true. Sin is so just iconic. I don't know. She's amazing. I really look up to her a lot. I look up to her a lot and look up to Elise a lot, because I also I'm never gonna stop, ever gonna stop doing hardcore BDSM bondage, quote unquote torment, whatever the words we're allowed to use on the clips. We're not allowed to say torture or abused anymore. I can't believe they took abused shoes off clips for sale. I was like,
oh,
bro.
I feel like that's where we really like linked up, because I feel like BDSM is so core to both of our performances. And it's like when I first started in porn, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do extreme BDSM. Were you basically the same way?
Yeah, I was doing femdom only, and I wasn't doing any kind of sex. I think other than girl, no boy, girl.
Mm-hmm.
And what got me into it was like, yeah, I shot with you, both of you, and then I was like, well, I need to keep shooting because I have to build a catalog. And I was kind of like, I don't know that I want to only do femdom. And
yeah, I remember you being like, I need 8 scenes for mini vids. I remember when you were in that part of your career.
I literally was like, I need content. And I was coming into a part of me that I hadn't really discovered yet, which is I am a hardcore switch, and this doesn't mean it's going on a podcast. I'm definitely bottom leaning switch. I can take a lot of pain. I can take a lot of, and I enjoy it. And I think when I was like going through all these changes, and I'd like just met everyone, and I was like, what am I going to do? And I wanted to do more videos, and I found, I just find people. If I freaking want something, I just get it. I saw some videos with Elise and a couple other people that I love their bondage, and I was like, I don't want to work with these people. So I just freaking reached out to them. I'm just saying, if you want to work with somebody, just reach out to them. Literally.
100%.
Within a week, wasn't it like a week? I told you guys, like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot all this hardcore bondage content. And
Yeah.
within a week, I was like up doing like my first ever like hardcore stuff and like bondage stuff. And then I just was off from there. I was like, I love this. I love how this feels. I'm having a good time. And like I just kept going. I don't know, kept shooting, and it's just crazy. I just am a really sexual, kinky person, and I fucking don't fit into a box that I'm not the common. So I don't know, I made my life what I wanted it to be, which is a crazy sex pit.
But like, think about all the performers you look up to, though. They usually don't fit into a box. Like, those are the interesting performers.
It's true. And yeah.
Because I feel like they have to at least have like a few word blurb about you for you to be. I feel like you have to have like the few word blurb to be memorable, you know? Like with Sasha Grey, it's like she's really hardcore, but she's also political too. Like, yeah. I feel like you have to have like something that's outside of the box almost.
Mine right now is like, people see my porn and they get scared. and then they meet me and they're like, you're so nice. You're so sweet. And I'm like, even like my femdom is like, I'm more of like a sensual, I am mean and I can be grouchy or whatever and do whatever and I can yell at you. But people think like, I don't have to be that way to get what I want out of you. You know that.
I feel like you have a very like, it's so, like a funny, like kind of sadistic thing that you do, where it's well-meaning.
So I get this like, you're so sweet and so nice, but like I saw this video and you were like getting like, you had like your tits were getting like electrocuted or something. You were like screaming, or you were pegging this guy, or you were like sounding this guy, and you were like hitting his balls with a thing. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, like it is so I'm sweet and I'm nice, but I'm also fucking crazy. No, I'm cool. I don't know. I have fun.
Yeah, you're very chill.
I really genuinely love what I do. It's freaking wild to think about all the things that I can have now. Like all I want is to work with Tommy Pistol and then I can retire. I say that all the time and I joke, but I want to work with him so bad. He knows, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm sure he knows. I have been involved with some of those tweets.
I talk about it all the time.
I'm sure that's possible.
Because you have to understand, that's like, for me, that's like if you worked with Sasha Grey.
I would never.
But yeah. Like, and that's kind of how I feel, where I'm like, I can't fuck Tommy. Like, I can't do it. It's gonna be too crazy. But I can do it. I'm gonna do it.
Being porn starstruck is so weird. I had it when I first shot with Bailey J. It was like her first scene back from retirement. It was like my first year in porn. So overwhelmed. Did you have anything like that before being performers?
Oh my gosh. Who was the first? I think I kind of always feel that way, because to me, and a little less now, because I'm like, people are just people. And my mom always taught me that, because she's like, famous people are just people or whatever. So
it's true.
So now I'm a little less, because everyone has problems and whatever. But when my first time shooting, I think with Penny Barber, I remember being nervous.
Oh yeah.
I hope she So if you listen to this, Penny, I love you. You know that. I adore you. I look up to you. You're great. I had a great time. My video got corrupted, but she has a really hot video of us, and I would love to shoot with her again. And she's returned the sentiment. So I remember shooting with her and just being like, before I went, just being like, I'm gonna shoot with Penny Barber, and
That's so
because
amazing.
I'm gay.
You definitely are. I mean, you're part of the East Bay Brats, the
I'm like,
all
she's
femme BDSM collective we're both part of. So I would say you're pretty gay.
I'm like that with a couple of male performers, but like there's so many where I'm just like, wow. Cause like, let's be real, that's really why I watch so much porn.
Who are your like favorite porn performers? Like who inspires you the most?
Okay. Well, I really, really, really like Charlotte Sartre a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch her. It's funny because she's from Sacramento and I'm from like outside of Sacramento, and
Aren't there
people
quite a few porn stars from Sacramento?
I don't know. I wonder. So I like her a lot. I look up to Sin a lot because
Since
I
age, yeah.
Age and Elise Graves a lot. I love them. Let's see. People that like I really, 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 really like. You know, I already said I love Tommy Pistol. I think he's a fucking hilarious, phenomenal.
He's multi-talented.
He's
He
so
like
style, like he's an actor.
if
He
there
could
was a
like
porn version of like an EGOT, he would have it.
I actually need to watch his movie that he made, his horror movie. So maybe I'll do that because it's my day off. So maybe, but like he made a horror movie and it's like cheesy or whatever, but it's I don't know. He's a good actor. Anyways, I like him. Let's see, who else do I like? I am super, super, super fan of Kaya Eve. Her and I are become good friends. She's newer. She just signed
Yeah.
with She's in Vegas too.
She
She's an
signed with
amazing.
who?
She just signed with Next Level Agency.
Oh wow.
So she's an amazing tattooed performer who shoots like she does shoot hardcore heavy, but she's very much like me. She'll shoot like she's really into BDSM and femdom and girl and like queer stuff. So she's really great and I love how she runs. I feel like I just admire people where it's like they really own they know what they're good at and they know what they like and they just do it. Like Penny Barber, she knows she's mommy dom and she just like
Yeah.
elite knows she's bondage. Like Kaya, she knows she's like hardcore Ted. Like it's just Tommy. He's silly and great and he's fucking he it's just people that own their shit and like yeah, I don't know. So those are a few people that I really like.
It's
I'm trying to
awesome.
there's so many. I watch a lot of porn.
I feel
I'm
like
also,
once you're like 5 years into your career, it's like you just figure out what you are.
I still feel like I don't know what I necessarily am.
I think you're gonna have, if I was just like looking into a crystal ball of your like foreign future, I feel like you're probably gonna have a lot of opportunities in the next year that you're probably gonna do things that like I could totally see you getting cast maybe in like a more like sensual role for like a studio or something and like do like acting porn. Like I could see you doing like all these different things. Like I think you're very versatile. And I feel like
And
that's like what your come up is for. And then you like get to try these things and be like, oh, maybe I don't want to be in soap opera porn anymore.
I love trying stuff.
Yeah.
I literally all the time I'm like, I want to work in a strip club, and people are like, why? Like you're doing your thing, and I'm like, because I've never done it. I want to do it at least once. Like I want to try stuff. So it's like, yeah, I have never shot. I haven't done studio. I did Crash Pad. That was fun.
That's
Um,
was that your first shoot?
that was my first shoot with another person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the same for me.
because I shot a video that actually sells occasionally still. This was 4 years ago. I shot a video. It was a solo video though, but I shot it for my friend Valerie. It's called like erotic self-care. I'm like eating fruit and lounging. It's some video I made. It's pretty good. I like it. But my first with another person, yeah, I think was Crash Pad.
I feel like that's a very good first shoot to have.
It is. And it's because it's like I hadn't thought about doing, it had never crossed my mind that I would be doing porn. Like I'm actually doing porn. It's weird. I'm Google searchable. It's a thing. I never thought. And then I did Crash Pad, and then I started looking at stuff, and I worked with you, and I was like, oh, I can do. So yeah, Crash Pad is a good first
Yeah, I
shoot.
completely agree. Like
They're
it's very
amazing.
comfortable. You don't have like anyone pressing you to do more. Like it's just like, oh yeah, just do whatever you want.
Yeah, and I just shot for Severe Studios, which is a smaller. They're amazing, but
They're so cool.
They're kind of, I think they're like independent. Yeah, they're like an independent studio, but they're amazing. I shot with Marcella. We did a femdom scene, and they were very much like that. They were like, your wardrobe. We kind of just want like this, and this. The rest of the video, you can like you and Marcelo can figure out like what scenarios or whatever what you want to do, but like we would like to see like pegging and this and that. Like they like give you a few things where they're like, we want to see you fucking in the, like we want to see you peg it, and like, and whatever else you do, we don't care. And like I was like, cool. And but yeah, it was. I've never shot. Maybe we did with Courtney. No, we shot Pretty Girls, but we never shot action stills.
Oh, those are the worst.
I had to shoot action stills.
Can you explain what action stills are to the...
I had to ask what action stills were because I knew what Pretty Girls were. So we shot some Pretty Girls, me in my outfit with my little flonger, and then they were like, okay, we're gonna do action stills. So I was like, pardon me, I'm a little embarrassed. I've never done action stills. And they were like, oh, so before, okay. This is, so you go in to shoot a scene, and like usually like, okay, I'm gonna give you a blowjob. So it's like, I'm gonna give you a blowjob, and then and then you're gonna eat me out, and then we're gonna do like missionary, and then we're blah blah blah, and you like know what you're gonna shoot. And then we're gonna shoot a cum shot. And so before you shoot each individual thing, which I'm not used to. I'm used to showing up, shooting a scene, taking a couple pictures before, shooting a scene all the way through, and then grabbing stills when I'm editing.
Yep.
So it's like, no, it's a thing. It's like, okay, what are you doing first? Okay, he's gonna eat your pussy. So you have to take pictures of him eating your pussy.
But not actually eating your pussy.
No, I mean, he had his mouth on it, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's like his mouth is on your pussy, he's worshiping your feet, but his mouth is just like on your shoe, and like,
yeah, just like tongue out,
and like, oh, now he's gonna eat your ass. So they were like, oh, you're gonna peg him, so like you have to like put your, and I did sounding, so it was like take the sound and put it like on the tip of the penis. Don't put it in the penis, and like
for those who don't know, sounding is when you put a rod in the tip of a penis. I was on a panel recently where someone's like, what is sounding? I was like, oh,
urethral sounding is inserting metal rods, silicone, safe objects into the urethra. They used to do it for some reason way back. It's prostate stimulation.
It is. It's a form of like direct prostate stimulation. It's technically the only way to directly get to the prostate.
That makes me want to faint.
Oh yeah.
I'm such a nerd with anatomy stuff. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
I did ask you to explain it.
I could be wrong, so please, if anybody's listening, don't get mad if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure like it's a more direct, even more than anal. So like you're up in there, but it can be painful, and some people like it painful, some people like it sensual, some people like it. It can be a bunch of different things. But yeah, so we did sounding. I sat on his face, and then I pegged him, and then this threw me off, and I have to start thinking. And now I'm going to think about it. When I'm pegging him, I have to look. So like he's down here, I have to like look
between your legs, yeah.
Camera, I'm like pegging him and I'm looking out so you can like see my face and you can see all of my hot, gorgeous body while I'm like.
That feels like a very Wonder Woman pose.
Obviously trying to rail Marcelo, and you have to do it in a position, and I can do it because I'm flexible, but you have to hold a sexy position where you can see everything. So we shot, and it's totally cool. And I've had to hold positions and stuff. It's just I've never shot a studio, so it was segmented. There were breaks between each thing. Yeah, there were action stills of everything we did, and then yeah, and I had to hold. I was more aware of how I looked doing what I was doing rather than what I was doing. And I think that that's a good thing for me to think about, because DIY is very just like we're fucking, we're doing whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we want to look hot doing it. But studio and stuff is like, there's a more of an extra fantasy layer. So yeah, you want to be like, oh, I'm fucking you and I look so hot doing it and everything. And like my tits are perfect and like my hair is perfect and it's not in my face. And like, so I think it's different styles of like,
yeah.
So I had a good time. I love shooting for Severe. We'll do it again. Amazing. Totally love it. Marcel is an amazing performer.
Definitely.
He's great, and want to do more. I want to do more stuff. That's
Yeah. For you personally, when you watch BDSM porn, do you want it more polished or do you want it like completely raw? I think I want more raw. Like I want to like see the not sexy moments like in it. Like I think that's what's hot about it.
I think for me, I like polished sometimes, but it's different. Like if it's raw, it feels more real. And I don't like to watch porn where I feel I'm totally about performing, you know that. Like I will overdo, but I think there's like moments and certain things where it's just a little too hokey or a little too inauthentic for me. And I think some of the BDSM stuff can be very polished and overdone, which is totally cool. It's a look, it's hot, I love it, I'm not shitting on it at all. But for me, when I'm like trying to like watch my BDSM porn, I want to feel like that's a realistic situation I could be in. And now also I want to say, since I have started doing porn, I am more able to get off to the polished stuff because that is a realistic situation.
Exactly.
I could end up on fucking kink.com fucking hard tied getting fucked by cuff Tommy Pistol. I could. So, but it doesn't, I do like more raw. And that's why I like Elise so much, just because like and it's a lot of the really raw bondage is like actual lifestyle people that actually are And I think some of the polished stuff, and it's totally cool, is like it's performers.
I
And
really
it is,
like about, oh, go on, I'm sorry.
no, I just said it is different. Sorry.
I like the thing about BDSM porn because I feel like most porn, you can tell it's like, okay, this is a scene. But I think in BDSM porn, you can tell while watching it when there's the switch of like, oh yeah, we're doing a content trade to, oh fuck, this is real, and it becomes real for both the performers. And I think that's what I like about BDSM, because you see that. Because no matter what you're going into the shoot with, once you're getting hit like hard enough, it changes, you know? Or if you're getting fucked in the ass or whatever thing that's happening in BDSM
Oh,
form, these are
no.
extreme situations.
Like I tell people when I go in, like I cry sometimes, and it's not because it's like, I actually just had my waterboarding video taken down because they said I was crying so much that I was in so much distress that they couldn't tell if it was consensual, even though we said in the video multiple times that it was consensual. So I cry. And that's something that's super real and hard. And it's like when I cry, like it's not fake. It doesn't mean that
Yeah.
it doesn't mean I'm in like danger or like anything bad is happening, but like, yeah, sometimes like I'm getting told I'm a little slut and I just start fucking crying, and it's like, it does shape you. And I think that's the same thing as like people saying like, oh, well, porn stars fake their orgasms. And it's like, no, you can
No.
have really, I have videos where it's like, it wasn't even like that. Like we were fucking, you know, like, and it's okay for it to be both. It's like with the BDSM, it's okay for it to be like super high polished. We're in a dungeon and like this would be a really specific scenario. And then it's okay to like DIY. I shot a video on Christmas that was me tied up to a tree in like the middle of nowhere. And like my partner at the time, like beating me with like a branch, like we did with a tree branch. Oh, it was so hot. And a spanking strap. And like the video looks, and we took like, you know, video of me like the bondage up close up, and the background of like it was overlooking like this little forest desert, and we're in Vegas, so there's like desert hills and so pretty. And like it's shot on like our iPhones, and like literally we didn't even like we were like dating at the time and like exploring, like he wasn't kinky, and then he met me and he realized he was. And like so we were like, we had just gotten each other like really cool Christmas presents, and we were like, let's go like film something. And like that's fucking cool, and it looks
That is really cool.
And I love shit like that. So I like to see both, but I really like raw. There's a lot of couples that shoot amazing stuff. My friend Brutal Master he would not consider himself a professional. He would not say he's like a porn star ever. He would never say that. He's literally a lifestyle guy that runs amazing.
Their stuff's so cool.
Like,
yeah.
Like, so I think BDSM, it's just totally different when it's more DIY. But
yeah.
Everything.
So I want to keep you all day, but I have a few final things I want to ask you about. What are some things that you still want to accomplish in your career, because you are on the come up completely right now? Oh, can you hear me still?
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'll switch headphones maybe. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What the hell?
And now it's
okay. Now I can hear you.
okay.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Wait, what?
In COVID times right now, so it's fine. So what are some things that you still want to accomplish in your career that you haven't so far?
I would like, I don't even know. What do I think about? Oh, I want to have my own studio. Like, I want to have a studio established. I think that would be cool. So, trying about cameras and things, which I'm doing. Yeah, there's a couple of sites that I would like to start that are specific sites, and I would like to get to a level where I can afford to pay people's rates to shoot exclusive content. Yeah, I want to be, not that I want to stop performing, because there's a tons of companies I want to perform for. I do want to do kink.com. I know I want to do them. I want to do House of Gourd. I'm gonna do insects at some point. Like, those are all kinky things. Those are the things I want to do. I would like to have a dungeon at some point. I think that would be fucking sick.
That's awesome.
I do want to blow up, at least like not mainstream, but I want people. I want, because
What's blow up? Like what?
I work with more people, and I want to have a long-term fan base, and like, I don't know. These are just simple goals.
What is blow up? Like what's, when you get it, what is blow up mean? Like what's the thing that would be like the mile marker on that?
I want to get to a point where I do want to be known. Like, I do want to be a known model, more of a known. I want to be more popular. I do. I want a bigger fan base because I want a long-term fan base. Like, I want to get to a point where I'm making at least 10 grand a month. I feel like that's achievable and I can do that. I know that might sound cocky, but I want to be able to make more porn. That's all I fucking want right now, is I want to make more money so I can make more porn. It's a never ending cycle.
Yeah, I feel that. Like
I love it
won the
so
lottery.
much. I love it so much, but I'm just like, oh. Everyone's like, so blowing up for me, yeah, would be, I guess, being not mainstream, but being like popular enough to book with other and much broader. I want to be able to turn people away. That's what I want.
I love that. That's such a.
I want to be popular enough that enough people want to shoot with me that I can be like, I could shoot with them, but I don't want to because I want to shoot X, Y, or Z. I don't know. I want to turn people away.
You want to have your schedule overbooked, so then you're like, I have to cancel stuff.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so one last question for you. This is my favorite one because everyone takes it so differently. Let's say tomorrow, when everyone wakes up, one thing in porn could magically be changed. What would you have it be?
Oh, fuck. Damn. I want there to be more people of color in mainstream. There's no or in porn, in control. I'm not saying that people aren't, but I'm saying like more POC in charge in the industry, in places of power, in the spotlight. I think that there's no fucking excuse. And daily, like, there's at least, I can think of a couple performers off the top of my head where almost daily I see them and I feel like they are not recognized enough.
For sure.
And I see that, and there's other groups in the industry that also struggle with not getting bookings for stuff or whatever. But I know that people of color make a lot less money and they have a lot less opportunities, and I'm not fucking okay with that. And yeah, and it bums me out. Some of them all, you're looking at my face, I'm all like, I'm like, it bums me out to fucking think about that.
So fucked up. It feels
It
so
is fucked.
that all these award shows have to do all these performative things and it doesn't feel like that much change. I think it is good that they did award some very deserving people of color, but I think there needs
Oh yeah.
like,
Oh, Scarlet Scandal.
yeah, I mean,
Like,
I adore Karen Noir's work so much, and I think she should win everything. I think, yeah.
has Anna Fox won anything yet? What the, like,
I think she did at AVN or XBIZ. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that they won something. I don't think any of the major awards, though. I don't think that, unless, like, I don't know. I feel like it's been so far back that Black women were held out of like the biggest awards and haven't won those. I feel like it needs to change. And I think if we are excluding some like white performers for a few years from winning awards, it's okay. Like if white people have won enough awards, we can take a few years as a break. I think that's more than okay. But I don't know. It just seems like it's some really systemic issues of porn. But even the idea that there's a site like Black that was still winning awards 2 years ago, I think the industry still has a long way to go as far as that.
yeah, it yeah, there's a lot that we need to fix. Ugh. But part of that also, so yeah, if I could change one thing, that'd be it. Like tomorrow, done. Like, and I think that would also have a domino effect on a lot of other things. So
Completely. Because then casting isn't going to be so dictated by, you know,
oh my god.
standards of mostly hiring skinny white girls. So yeah, but do you feel hopeful about the future of porn coming back? Do you think there's
Yeah.
progress for not only on the side of more content creation happening so performers are more empowered, but also with racial justice?
I think so. Oh yeah. I'm seeing like, because the thing is like, we are all, we're like, really think about it. We all know each other. We all work together. We're all like friends.
Mhm.
And we're figuring out that we have power. So we are seeing things change. It's like, no, now like people of color are speaking up. They are getting more, there's more things happening. There's change happening. It's taking a lot fucking longer than I would personally like. I think a lot of people agree. So I'm hopeful for it. I like you, I think we're gonna see a big shift. We're
Yeah,
already to see it.
I think it's just happening more once people get back on sets because most people haven't been on sets for about a year now at least.
And here's the thing. When you're not shooting, you figure out, and I figured this out. I'm certain parts of my career, I'm making a lot of money on my own. Nobody's fucking getting, I'm not paying. I mean, you pay a percentage out, whatever, but I'm not paying like an agent. I do whatever the fuck I want, kind of.
A lot of time to make connections during this off time. I'm sure you have a list.
Yeah.
Like I have a list of people who, you know, in the middle of a pandemic are like, oh, hey, if you ever want to do anything.
And I think that a lot of other performers are also experiencing that, where they're like, like literally, somebody literally just said it to me the other day, like OnlyFans, I'm not super, I don't put a lot into my OnlyFans, but like OnlyFans and in which now includes just independent porn because people branch out and do other stuff, it's changing things. Cause it's like, I don't fucking need anybody else to like run my shit.
Yeah.
And I can like if some girl is making 10 grand a month on OnlyFans, what, like, or 20 grand a month on OnlyFans, she's not stressing about studios and agents, and she doesn't have to deal with that. He doesn't have to deal with that. They don't have to deal with that, like, why the fuck would you deal with that?
Even existing performers, though, now that they have a side income, whether it's from camming during the pandemic or OnlyFans or whatever, like, it's changed a lot during this pandemic that these studios, I think they were losing power before. I think it's just going to continue. And I think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. And when I say studios, I mean big studios. I don't want to say independent, because independent studios are great. But these big guys, I feel like they're out of touch, and they when you're out of touch like that, not all of them, so don't come for me, but some of you, I don't care if you're mad at me. I don't fucking give a shit. I'm a nice person, but I don't. It's like, yeah, they don't see us the way that, like, we see each other and we see ourselves. So they see money, and that affects how they freaking handle some of their human resource things. So let's just put it that way.
The more power to the sex workers, the better.
Yeah.
Well,
So
one last thing I want to ask you. So when's your second vaccine?
it is on next Wednesday.
Wow.
At noon or 11 in the morning.
That means all the East Bay brats will be vaccinated then.
By May.
And then
Pray.
and Courtney are getting their Saturday. They're doing the one-shot one. So it's gonna happen. So it's so wild to think that the last time
is Ruby vaccinated?
they're getting a Saturday with Courtney. Yeah. So I think that's a good note to leave it on. Thank you so much for talking to me and telling life and porn.
For having me. You're great. This is awesome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.